How are you?
Fine. Nice to meet you. A pleasure, really. Thank
Nice
you
to
so
meet
much.
you. Sure.
Yes, I have been reading a lot the last days about you, and I really got very inspired by all the work that you have been doing, not only for women, but for people in general. So when all this started in you, that you realized that you can help others?
When I was in corporate America, I was a chief revenue officer in corporate America, and I was fired after 14 years of consecutive advancement and recognition. And I took that opportunity to start my own company and really listen to what it was that my audience wanted from me. And that's how I wrote my first book, how I became a professional speaker, how I launched my podcast, how I wrote my second book. It's all been a series of answering the call that I get from my audience.
Oh, wow, fantastic. And the last book is about strictly about confidence. Why, of course, this is a very simple question. Why do you think that confidence is something that can make you succeed or not in anything that you want to achieve in your life?
Yeah, that's the one single game changer between following your passions and pursuing, your instinct and your intuition versus anything else. To me, if I have confidence, I can overcome anything, whether it be a pandemic and being in quarantine or being fired or any adversity that's going to occur outside of you. I really feel like, I don't know, confidence is a thing that sets you up for success.
Why do you think that women, especially, as you said, we have been sometimes not so much in the United States, but more in Latin America. To be a woman sometimes is that people think that is a sign of weakness or not people women are less smart. Those things that they think. So how do you think that what can you say to women in Latin America that still have had to live with that type of discrimination?
Well, that's insane, right? So, I mean, that is actually comical. And so to me, I would use that as fuel to succeed. I've been underestimated at every point in my life. I was told I'd never make it to the C-suite in corporate America. I'd never be able to pitch myself and land a job that didn't exist. I'd never be able to close $1 million deals. I've done all of those things. So to me, that's all proof of what is further possible. And if people haven't had those achievements or had that opportunity to create that confidence in themselves, I want to show you the roadmap and show you can do it and use other people's limitations and fears as fuel to just push you faster.
Yeah, sometimes those limitations are of the other person, not yours.
Absolutely.
So, and I know that you have several areas of your life. You also are a mother. How many children do you have?
I have one.
Okay, and how do you handle maternity, work, and all our areas that women we have to accomplish in one day? How do you do that?
Yeah, it's hard right now because we're doing homeschool and I'm working from home, so we're quarantined in our condo in Miami. We don't get outside very much because the building is a nightmare with the pandemic. So it's been really challenging, but I find that with communication, great understanding and empathy for myself first and foremost, and then for my son second to that, we're having great moments, and then we have days that aren't so great.
Amazing. What do you think that are the key things that are a characteristic of people who are successful? If would you say that is a repeat characteristic?
Yeah, they're confident and they're driven.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they don't wait for anybody to bring the future. They create the future directly. Okay. What are your people that have been inspiring you during your life? We all have people who open our inspiration and show us something different from any other person that, you know, who are the people that you get inspired from?
Yeah, for me, I was inspired by becoming a mother, knowing that there's someone I'm responsible for, that I'm responsible to guide and direct. That really made it important to me to step out on my own, to step into my passion. You know, having a child was the biggest inspiration I've ever had in my life. I would say, as far as figures in pop culture, Oprah is a inspirational figure to me in that she overcome so much, the labeling, the limitations that others had put on her for race, for sex, for her background, and to see her potential and what she was able to become in the face of all that adversity is very inspiring to me.
That's great. What are things that you would like to accomplish that have not yet done it?
I want my book to be made into a movie. That's something that I've been pitching, that I'm very serious about. My second book is going to be coming out next year, and I'm very excited to actually bring that to life. I can't wait for that to happen. Pivoting my in-person business into a virtual business with events and virtual speeches that really connect with people is something that I'm looking to improve and evolve over time, and I'm really excited about.
How do you think that this pandemic, have helped us to develop things that we were putting things in pause, you know, and now we have to rush to just learn it or do it. What are the positive things of this pandemic from your point of view?
Yeah, everyone's having to change their business to reevaluate their unique value proposition, what problem they can solve, delivery methods. Everyone's being challenged to grow and to inspire and to innovate. And in some ways, that's a really beautiful thing.
And in Miami, how are the things right now with the pandemic?
Yeah, right now it's not great, but next week they're going to start opening up some retail, some stores. So we'll see how I'm a little nervous, but I guess we're going to wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm sure that Miami, thank God, has been very blessed and there has not been so dramatic, I will say, no? And with what people would you like to work with that you have not done it till now?
I love working with like-minded people, people that challenge me, people that are further ahead of me, that, you know, I need to work harder to get to their level. So I'm always open to collaborating with others and working together.
Do you like Tony Robbins? Do you like Tony Robbins, for example?
Yeah, I'm interviewing his business partner, Dean Graziosi, tomorrow. He's coming on my podcast tomorrow.
Really? Oh, fantastic. I love Tony Robbins. He's inspiring. And Cardone, also, I saw that you interviewed him, no?
He interviewed me on his show. Yeah, and his wife interviewed me on her show. Yeah, they live very close to me.
And have you traveled to Latin America? Have you been in Buenos Aires, for example?
No?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, I am now in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. And, you know, I don't know if you know something but our country is very famous for the tango. You know the tango?
Yes.
So and then for the soccer, because we have very good soccer players. But also we have very good artists. For example, the one who did the Ash Center, he was an Argentinian architect. So also the architects and other people from different disciplines are Argentinians also. And if you would like to do a perfect day for you, how it would be for you?
Getting outside of the house, you know, being around people, going to the gym, you know, getting to celebrate with my friends, just being outside would be amazing.
What do you think that also is important to have a eating order and sleeping and different other things, not only the mental health, but also physical and all other things that need to be in balance to be successful? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it helps, but I've been through parts of my life where I wasn't sleeping great and I was still successful. So I think that it all goes back to there's ebb and flow and good times and bad times. just have to work through them.
And the book that you wrote, Boss in Heels, what inspired you to do that book?
Well, that actually isn't a book. That's a hashtag around my website, heathermonahan.com. But basically what it is when I was younger, I was told that a boss looked a certain way. He was a man. He was in his 60s. He had white hair and wore pantsuits. And I became the boss wearing a red dress and wearing high heels. And I wanted people to know that you can be a boss in whatever shoes or outfit you want to be. You don't have to fit some status quo.
So if you had to teach, if you have a daughter, what would you teach her from the very beginning, as soon as she understands about how she has to go in the world? What would you teach her?
Listen to yourself, your voice over everything else, because it's the only opinion that matters.
Fantastic. Sometimes in your life, you have been criticized or not. How was your moments of life?
Yeah, getting fired was serious criticism, and that was a challenge. But you can allow a challenge to bury you and take you down, or you can turn the challenge into an opportunity, and that's what I chose.
One man asked, how would you name your daughter if you have a daughter?
I'm 45 years old. I'm not having any kids.
You're not thinking about kids. You're thinking about books right now.
I have one kid. That's enough for me. I'm good.
You're thinking about books. And there is any country in the world that you would like to visit soon?
Outside of my house. That's the country I'd like to visit to.
Outside of your house. I love it. It's fantastic. Well, I'm very glad to have been with you, and also another thing that I would like you to tell to the audience, what are the advice that you will give people who are still in quarantine, that in Miami, for example, now next week people can go out, but in other parts of the world they have to stay at home. What are the things that people have to do, or it will be good that they do, and what things they shouldn't do during the quarantine in order to go out from the quarantine better, no? What would you say?
I just say lower expectations on yourself. Just surviving this is a win. Put it on your resume. I survived a freaking pandemic, and I think that's a win. I don't care how you come out of it. Just come out of it alive, and you should be applauding yourself.
Heather, you're amazing, really. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'm blessed, and we are blessed to have you here. And I hope to meet you when I am in Miami. Thank you, Heather.
I love that. Thank you so much for having me.
A pleasure, Heather. All the best for you. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you.